When you first entered ECW, did you think it had the potential to take off the way that it did, or was it just like an indie for you at the time?
No, because as soon as I, like I said, as soon as I saw the show, I said, I got to be on this. You know, I knew there was something there. I mean, I knew it was gold. You know, it's gold, Jerry, gold. But I honestly don't remember. Like, I mean, if I thought that monetarily they were going to hang, or you know, I knew that they had the goods. You know what I mean? Whether they would actually survive business-wise, I honestly can't remember. You know, but I knew they had the goods from day one.
Yeah. When did you, like, what was your opinion of Paulie going into ECW, your impressions of him? Did you realize that he had the mind that he had?
I don't actually do impressions. My training's in psychology. I don't know. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
So that for an answer. I don't know.
Did you try to pitch the Raven idea to other promoters before you went to ECW, or just?
No, I mean, there were no other promoters. There was Vince, and there was Vince, WCW, and there was Smoky Mountain, because I was still waiting. I'm still waiting for Cornette to bring me in. Somebody told me they're out of business now. And Memphis, Hotel California never leaves, and the Hotel Nashville. And let's see, WWF I knew I couldn't go back to until I went back there. WCW, I don't know why wasn't that. I wonder why I wasn't interested in that, or why that wasn't something. Maybe they weren't interested. I mean, there had to be a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was going on there at the time?
I don't remember.
Fuck 'em.
Now, when I remember, you made quite an influence on ECW when you came in, as far as working with the other guys and the psychology of cards. What was your initial impressions of, like, the way an ECW card was put together, or the guys that worked it when you first came in?
I'll tell you, when I got there, I think I did a house show first. And, like, you know, I can actually do planches, and I do pull them out occasionally, you know what I mean? And, but, yeah, like, at that point in my career, I was, I'm thinking, ground game. I was also in that phase of my career where, do less, like, I work 5 times. I do much more in the ring now. Well, okay, no, put it this way. All right. When I wanted to work back then, I worked my ass off, you know what I mean? But I was also that old-timer school that, keep it easy, kid, don't want to kill yourselves, especially in house shows. But I got there, and these guys are killing themselves, and it's infectious. And I wanted to, be a part of it. And so I remember I threw Hackmeyers out to the floor. I go, catch me. And I was going to do a big planche on him. I come flying over, and the bastard tried to actually catch me. And, like, it's, instead of taking a bump, you say catch me, what you mean is, protect my fall.
Yeah.
So as I hit him, he's trying to brace himself against the guardrail, and I grabbed the guardrail and shoved this to the ground. I was like, you moron. I go, and went to actually catch me. But like, that was something at the time I wouldn't have done. Even now I won't do it. I'm not going to do a planche unless it's TV, because half the time guys drop you, you know what I mean? They went on Blackman on TV, and he just stood there and watched me land in front of him. Oh, sorry. He wasn't a very good catcher.
Yeah.
Good guy, but he wasn't a very good catcher.
Steve Blackman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus the WWF, the ropes are so much higher, so it's a much further fall, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What,
let me get this second one, sorry.
Okay. What was some of the talent that immediately caught your eye in ECW?
I'm going to say something like, who was a better worker than anybody ever gave him credit for was Axel Rotten. Like, Axel was out there, with glass on us, taped to his name, but he could work too. Like, he could work like an old school, like, I've seen a lot of guys, the holds and all that stuff. I mean, it's not like, of course anybody can do that. But he actually looked good doing it, He was really smooth. He was much more talented than anybody ever gave him credit for it. I don't know what he's doing now, but, like, I remember, I love Dreamer to death. I mean, we go back a long way. But, like, anytime Dreamer actually wrestles, it's just atrocious. He doesn't have the grace or the speed to do it. But Axel Rotten, who you would never suspect has that, is phenomenal. I really thought he got a bad shake, you know what I mean? Although I think he screwed himself, because he hated being a British character once he created it. And like, his promos in English, I personally never thought were very charismatic. But whenever he was doing it in British, it was just tremendous. And I kept trying to tell him when I was selling that, and he just didn't care. But, whatever, that's just my opinion. But I thought Axel had a lot more talent than they gave him credit for. Mikey Whipwreck, I loved Mikey. And what I liked about him was, he's very similar to the 1-2-3 Kid or, X-Pac, except what I found him to be more interesting, because X-Pac was always fearless. You know, he would do all these crazy dives and he was fearless. So as impressive as it was, well, the guy's fearless. Mikey was terrified to do it. That's what his character was. So when he would do it, it was much more exciting because here's this guy who's scared shitless, but he's overcoming his fear. So there was much more of a depth to it. And so I always found Mikey to be a fascinating character. And then him and Cactus, of course, you know, just fucking tremendous. The Public Enemy, I thought were very entertaining. You know, that's enough I can say about that. I thought he was a great guy. Honestly, a great guy. It's a sad thing that he passed away. Johnny's work was atrocious. But Paulie made him out to be the greatest workers ever because Paulie was so brilliant, you know, at covering. I mean, Johnny was a good bleeder. And he was a funny fucker on promos. His work was a shit though. But Paulie was a genius because the tapes, you know, because it wasn't all, he didn't show every match, he just showed parts and stuff. So he made sure he hit the fact what they couldn't do, and he made, with the stuff they did do, he did it well, you know.
Yeah. Is it true you're only supposed to come in for 4 months originally?
Yeah, I was supposed to come in 3-4 months, get Dreamer over, and then hopefully I'd go back to New York was my plan, you know.
Okay. And how did you end up staying for as long as
I didn't want to leave. I'm not sure New York would have wanted me anyway, but I had no interest in leaving at that point, you know. I'm sure Paige could have got me to WCW at any time, but I had no interest in leaving because to me this is, you know, and a lot of guys think I'm an idiot for this, but this is an art form, you know, every bit as much as ballet is. And I think it's much harder because, you know, we don't rehearse. You know, the ballet rehearses for months, you know. We change ours every night. We also have to act, we also have to do promos. I mean, the ballet, they just go out there and dance. I mean, I think this is the most underrated art form that there is, you know. It's a beautiful thing when it's done poorly. There's nothing worse, but when it's done right, there's nothing better. And to me, I was on what I thought was, you know, you ever see the Nagel paintings? You know, there's thousands of them everywhere. There's, you know, a billion reproductions. You know, I figured I could go be a Nagel, or I could be on a Rembrandt. You know what I mean? I would rather be on one Rembrandt than, you know, a million copied, you know, Nagels. You know what I mean? Because to me, this is an art, and I'm like, I was a part of a revolution. I was a part of. We completely changed the face of the business, you know, ECW did. Today's style is completely descended from that. The show was so damn entertaining, production, I mean, everything, like the way Paulie produced it. It just, I had no interest in leaving. I didn't want to leave when I did leave 2.5 years later.
Yeah.
You know, but the money was so big, I couldn't, you know, not leave.
Yeah.
Plus the revolution was over, you know.
Yeah. Now, how did you end up choosing, like, Stevie Richards as in the Lackey role, and how did the whole group come together?
Paulie wanted to put Stevie with me. That was his idea. And I thought it was his idea for the shorts, but Stevie told me it was actually mine. So apparently I put Stevie in the Daisy Dukes. And actually, that does sound like me, though, because I'm like, you'll wear jean shorts, like just like me, your hero, except, you know, TV character, except you don't quite get it right, so you're wearing Daisy Dukes, you're like an idiot, you know. And then the half shirt is preposterous. I make them wear like Poison and, you know, fucking, you know, boy bands, you know, Backstreet or whatever, you know, just to make them look like, you know, clueless putz. But he played to such perfection that people never realized what a phenomenal worker he was, because all they saw was the character, which was sad in many cases, because like he didn't get the respect at the time he deserved.
Now, I remember you explained this to me one time. It's a pretty good story, how Raven was supposed to be this cool character, and people I don't think quite understood why he had this kind of freak show and these geeks like Nova and Meanie. And
well, they were my family. They were my dysfunctional family. They were my followers, you know, my disciples. And plus, you can't be that cool. I mean, if you're that cool, then they're going to like you. You know, like if you just beat everybody up, be cool. And I love being a heel. I hate being a babyface because there's not as much depth of character. You know, you couldn't. The stuff I talked about, I couldn't do as a babyface. And so I had these misfits. I mean, if I had all cool guys following me, why wouldn't you cheer me? You know, you got to show your ass. You know, and because Raven never really took a step backwards, he had to find other ways to show his ass because, you know, to stay a heel. You know, so I got these collection of misfits, goofballs, losers, freaks. You know, it's just, you know.
Yeah, I got you. Now, what was your relationship like with Stevie outside the ring at that time?
We didn't. Me and Stevie became really close friends now, but at that time we weren't. You know what I mean? Like, he had this kind of. He looked up to me, and I kind of shit on that. But you know, I don't know. We just didn't get along. I mean, we got along, but we butted heads. We just two different people that just, you know, it was like a bad match. It was like a really successful marriage in the ring, but it was a really bad marriage behind the scenes, you know. And